It's 10 o'clock and it's time for Sally's furosemide, which is the diuretic. We have changed up her schedule on her pills. It's been quite a process. It's been since Christmas that we've been dealing with this. I think I've shared with you that she's been having some trouble. She was not able to tolerate her pills anymore without food. So we've tried every combination under the sun. And what we've come up with now is the pimobendan. She gets this with food twice a day. We give it to her at breakfast and supper because she gets half a tablet twice a day on that. And then the furosemide cannot be given at the same time as the pimobendan. Has to be at least an hour later. So we just go ahead and set it for 10 o'clock because sometimes they eat later. I mean, usually the dogs get fed between 8 and 8:30, but we just set it at 10 o'clock because we know that they won't be getting breakfast past 9 o'clock. The furosemide she handles perfectly fine. She's never had any problem with it. Does not have to be given with food. Now, she was on enalapril for her blood pressure medication, and we tried giving that to her in every single combination you could possibly think of. She did not tolerate it. She tolerated it for 6 months, and then all of a sudden she just stopped tolerating it. So finally they switched her to benazepril, and the jury is still out on this, whether she's tolerating it. We give it to her. She only has to have it once a day rather than twice a day. We give it to her with a little bit of food at noon. And like I said, the jury's still out on that. She's only been taking it for a few days. She did have one episode of stomach upset a few days ago. We don't know if it was a fluke or if it was because of the blood pressure medicine. So we stopped giving it to her for a couple of days. We started back again giving it to her yesterday, but I'm starting her back on half a dose once a day, and then see how she tolerates that, and then try the full dose again, and we'll just see. We'll just see. It's just a play it by ear, day by day situation with her, and we figure whatever medications she can get into her system and tolerate is better than nothing. But I have noticed that in the last month she started coughing again, which is not a good sign, and sometimes her breathing is a little bit rapid, but we knew going into this whole situation that her life expectancy was not very long. Our goal was to at least get her to a year out from her episode. I call it a heart attack. It wasn't a heart attack. It was fluid on her lungs where she wasn't able to breathe, congestive heart failure. She was given a life expectancy of 6 months to a year. Our goal was to get her to a year, and if not, I'll put you over here where you can actually see her. Our goal was to get her to a year, and anything after that would be just a wonderful bonus. So it's time for her 10 o'clock pill, and so I'm going to see, that's that coughing she does. Okay. So anyway, let me get her pill, and I think she's probably thirsty. And she still takes her medicine really good. I am still doing my intermittent fasting, but I have to admit that since the holidays, it's been really hard for me to get back on track with it. And then when we went away for our anniversary, it was a bed and breakfast. So I ate breakfast for 2 days in a row, which I hadn't been doing for several months. And so I have been finding it increasingly more difficult to not be super, super, super hungry in the mornings and wait until noon, which I'd been doing. I'd been not eating till lunchtime. And I was getting very frustrated with it because I would get so hungry that I'd almost feel nauseous. But I know that the intermittent fasting, at least for me, was very helpful, and it did help me lose weight. Now, I have gained some of that back since the holidays. I knew that was going to happen. I'm really struggling. Like I said, I'm really struggling to get back on track again. So I was thinking the other day, what can I do? Because I do believe, at least for me and my body, with my IBS issues and all of the things that I struggle with my digestion, that intermittent fasting has been very helpful for me. But if you're miserable and you're starving for 2 hours, because usually it would hit me like about 10 o'clock where I'm just like, I am so hungry, I cannot wait. And then I would end up eating my lunch at 11 because I'm like, I cannot wait till noon. I'm just so hungry. So what I've done the last couple of days, and it's been it's been working, is I cut my eating off in the evenings earlier. Before, I would stop eating around between 7 and 8. And now we usually eat supper, and we're done eating supper by 6 o'clock. And so I have just like, when I'm done eating supper, I'm done eating for the day. I don't eat anything else in the evenings. If I'm really, really like hungry, because I do stay up kind of late, I'll get a cup of tea or something like that. But I've just been cutting my eating off earlier in the evening and then breaking my fast earlier in the next day, if that makes sense. So I've been trying to break my fast right around 10 o'clock. If I'm not hungry then, I won't. But it's basically anytime after 10 o'clock, if I get hungry, I will eat my first meal. My first meal, quote unquote, is basically something really small. Some kind of fruit. In this case, I'm having some blueberries. This is quite a lot of blueberries, but there wasn't enough left for 2 servings. And so it's like, oh, I'm just going to finish them off. So I have some blueberries here. And then I just put a little drizzle of this monk fruit, 0 sugar. It won't spike my blood sugar. Sweetener on it, just because sometimes blueberries are a little too tart for me. And then I'll put a little bit of my Ripple, and then I will crumble up a homemade granola bar. I actually did make some granola bars the other day. I had said in my last grocery haul that I was really wanting to get back to making granola bars, and I did that the other day. So then I'll just crumble up a homemade granola bar on top, and then that will tide me over till noonish time. And so that's been working for me. So I am eating technically 3 meals a day again, but I kind of consider this more like a snack. I'll have a morning snack, something small to tide me over, and then I'll have lunch and supper, and then I don't eat anything after supper. And so far that's been helping. I don't know how effective it'll be, but it's what I'm trying. Hi, chicky kid. Come here. Come here. Oh. Oops, sorry, Chicky. Hi. Sorry, Chicky Mama. Where's that other kitty? kitty. This is, over here, baby. Over here. Over here. Okay, this is the kitty that showed up at our house during the Arctic blast a few weeks ago. And I call her Half Pint. Now, is this a true calico? Can anyone tell me if this is a true calico? Because if it's a true calico, then calicos are female, correct? I have not been able to turn her over and look at her to see, but I'm pretty certain that she is a girl. Look how friendly she is. She doesn't like to be picked up, but she likes to be petted. And I don't know if I can get a very good picture of her because of the sun, but is that a true calico? She's got one spot there, and she's 3 colors. So if I can get a better picture of her, I'll take a snapshot and insert it. But yeah, let me know if this is a calico. Alright guys, it is 1 o'clock and I have to say I am dragging. I am dragging today. I did not sleep well last night. I was having a bit of a allergy. I wasn't sure if I was coming down with a cold or what it was, but I started sneezing and I had this like burning pain in my nose and my sinuses, and that was basically my only like symptoms. And a headache, started getting a headache. So last night I wasn't sure if it was allergies or starting to get a cold or what, but I thought, you know what, I don't take Benadryl very often, but I'm like, if this is allergies, I want to nip this in the bud. And so I took half of a Benadryl last night before I went to bed because I thought, you know, if it's allergies, it'll nip it, and then I'll get a really good night's sleep because usually Benadryl makes me really tired. Well, I don't know what it was, but Benadryl had the opposite effect on me last night. I laid in that bed and I tossed and I turned and I tossed and I turned. It was like after 2 a.m. before I finally fell asleep. And then Mr. Percy Puppy, decided 7:30 would be an excellent time to start waking me up. And I told him no, and he let me stay in bed till 8:30, but I really didn't sleep past 7:30. I just kind of laid there. And so I got about, I don't even know, 5 hours of sleep maybe. So I'm really dragging today. But even though I am dragging, I'm going to be making these brownies today. Our church has a Wednesday night Bible study that we've just recently started attending. They've been having them for a long time, but we haven't attended this church very long, so it just kind of took us a while to get started going to the Bible study. But they also have a carry-in like fellowship meal to go along with it, and so I am making these brownies as my contribution to the meal. They are actually having carry-in pizza for supper, and they are kind enough to get us a dairy-free pizza because they know that Olivia and I have a dairy issue. So my contribution is going to be brownies, and it's just this oat-tastic. We don't have to be gluten-free, but we got this on a special deal at a food outlet store. So I'm going to go ahead and use this, and it's just like basically a regular brownie mix. You put 1/4 of a cup of water, 1/3 of a cup of, it calls for vegetable oil, but I'm using olive oil, and then 1 egg. And I am going to use one of my duck eggs because they are far superior to chicken eggs in baked goods, in my opinion. So I always crack my farm eggs in a separate container, separate dish, and just check them over, make sure they're good. We collect eggs every day, but the ducks especially are really good at hiding them. So I just check them for their appearance. I give it a sniff test. Although if it was rotten, I don't think I'd have to put it close to my nose to know whether or not it was rotten. But that is a perfectly delicious, impeccable looking egg. So we'll put that in there, and we're just gonna, I'm not getting out my mixer for this. I'm just gonna use my Dutch whisk and whisk this together. I have my oven preheating to 350 degrees, and we're just gonna bake these brownies up. And that's going to be our contribution tonight. All right, so Olivia and I decided to go over to the Hope Center. We haven't been there in a long time, probably since, I don't know, before Christmas for sure. I can't even remember the last time we were there. So we decided to go, and we got quite a few things here. Now they're doing things a little bit differently. Some items, they just had a big sign with the price on them, and the cashiers just must memorize the prices because they don't have the prices marked on them. If I can remember the price of things, I will let you know. Olivia's here, she can maybe help me. But we'll go ahead and start here with these peanut chews. These are dairy-free, they're really yummy, and they're like the little individual ones. And it was $2 for this bag. The candy bars were $1 each. I got this one for Scott, and Olivia picked this one out for her. And then over here, I got one of these for Scott and one for Travis because they can eat whatever they want. They're so lucky. And these were $2.50 a bag. So that's the candy that I got this time. They had quite a few like granola type things like these, sprouted organic granola Cocoa Crunch bites, really clean ingredients. Nothing we bought was past date. That is one of the things you have to watch at the Hope Center. If you're not familiar, the Hope Center is like a thrift store for food. And these, like I said, are not past date. And I can't remember how much these were. I think they were 75 cents a bag. So I got 2 bags. They had coffee, $4 a bag. And if you spent X amount of dollars, you could choose off of a free shelf, and so I had spent enough where I could get a free bag of coffee. So I got 2. One of these was free, one was $4. Toasted coconut mocha, that sounded really, really good. And then I got this high-powered gourmet ground coffee, 1 pound for $4. Olivia saw this case of Coke products and twisted my arm real hard for me to get these. And how much for $12? $10. Yeah. Okay, it was $10 for this case of 24 bottles of Coke products, mostly Coke, Sprite, and then Fanta. I won't probably drink any of it because I don't drink soda very much anymore. They had these for $1 a bag, and I thought just for the toothbrush, that's worth it. And then it's got some toothpaste, some lip balm, some lotion, and we think that's a pair of socks. And then it's got this really nice little bag. This would come in handy for when we go camping or whatever. So I picked up 2 of them. One has a citrus flavored lip balm, and then this is a cherry flavored lip balm. Those are $1 a bag. These are just some disposable, like hot beverage cups with lids. They were $2, and we probably won't use these very often, but once in a while, it's really nice to have something like this. And so we'll just have that and keep it in our pantry. I love charcoal face masks. It makes your face look like charcoal, but it's really like detoxifying. It makes my skin feel really good. And this Lumiere is a pretty good brand, and so I got it for $1. They had their hand soaps, liquid hand soaps, for $2.50 for this big bottle, so I got 2 of those. Before we found the bottled Coke, they had these, which this is just an off-brand. They were 25 cents a can, so Olivia picked up 4 of those. This is something I've never ever seen before, ever, and I was just so incredibly intrigued by it. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of investigating to find out how you use it, but it's pie filling, pastry, and cake. Scott's home from work, so I need to hurry up. Poppy seed filling, pie filling. Thought it was interesting. It doesn't expire till 2025, so I have some time to figure that out. I got some of these chips. I think they were $1 a bag, $2 a bag. I'm not really sure. Some tortilla chips. I can't remember. Their pastas are pretty much always $1 a box, and I really like the gemelli shape. So I got 2 boxes of those. The oyster crackers were an excellent deal. They were 75 cents a bag. So I got 2 bags of those. These were 25 cents or 4 for $1. They were really clean ingredients, not past date. So I picked up 4 of those. These Oreos were $1.25 or $1.50, and we don't need to be gluten-free, but I'll hang on to these and I'll take them to a church function or whatever we might need, and they're not past date. So these, I think, these hazelnuts were just barely past date. February, like a couple of weeks ago. But nuts, they don't go bad for a really long time, and we really like hazelnuts, and so I got 2 bags of these. I can't remember how much they were. I can't remember. Less than $2 a bag, I know that. Chocolate syrup, this was $1.50, not past date, perfectly good. Some of these, they're like cookies. I don't know if they're like Mexican. I'm not really sure. I think they were $2 a box. There's no milk in them, and these are like marshmallow cookies, and then these are coconut cookies. Like I said, I think they were $2 a box. And then I got some of this French vanilla coffee mate, thinking of Scott in mind, having him in mind for this. 180 little cups for $8. So I didn't think that was too bad of a price. So that is my little Hope Center haul for this video. Well, it is Thursday, the next day, and I was gonna spend today wrapping up this vlog and getting it edited for tomorrow, but there's some really strange things going on. I have no cell service. My phone won't work at all for anything. No internet. I think that you've probably all heard about the AT&T and a couple of other different services being out nationwide. That's not what is freaking me out a little bit. It's the fact that our power just suddenly went off
for no reason whatsoever. And I don't have a landline phone. I had no way to call to report it. So thankfully, my sister who lives next door, she still has a landline that's not connected to the electricity at all. So I was able to call and report it, and there's almost 3,000 homes just in our area that are out. It's like over 2,600 homes, which is very strange. I can't contact Scott, which is kind of freaking me out a little bit. I'm just feeling very like isolated, and like we need to get a landline back. We used to have a landline, and we just, you know, disconnected it several years ago, like most people have done, and I'm thinking we need to get a landline service again because I don't like being to where I cannot contact anybody. I did call Scott's cell from my sister's phone. It went directly to voicemail, so I know his service isn't working. I left the message. I don't know if he'll be able to receive it, but I wish he would come home because we need our generator hooked up, and I don't know how to do that. So anyway, I don't know when you'll even get to see this video, because if we don't get power back, I'm not going to be able to edit video or upload anything. And I just have a bad feeling about this, that this is going to last quite a while. But maybe I'm just freaking out for no reason. Anyway, I'm going to keep videoing as long as I have power in my phone, and I can charge it in the car. And this might make a real interesting video if I ever get to upload it. So, but anyway, the post office came and I got a package from my aunt. So I'm going to open it and I'm going to video it. And I'm sorry that the lighting's not going to be great because, like I said, we have no power. But let's get this package open, see what my aunt sent me.
All right, so here I opened the package and there's a card, which I will read in a minute. And it looks like a beautiful, gorgeous. Ooh, it's a blue glass bowl. Oh, that's gorgeous. Hold on just a minute. Let me get it unwrapped. So I turned on my flash so you could actually see it. It's a beautiful blue glass. A big bowl and a small bowl. And then it came with this, some kind of a stand, which I'll have to try to figure out how that works. But I'm going to read the card, and then I will, maybe she says a little bit more about it in the card. I had a feeling this was something special, more than just a blue bowl. It's a chip and dip server, which intrigues me that, look at the size. Like this would be where you would serve chips in, and then the dip. Look how small it is. Like, it's from the 1960s, my Aunt Jan said, and it was my grandmother's, my Grandma George's, and the bowl is like the size of my hand. Like, I eat salads in bowls this size. That just goes to show how much more big, my English is not right here, how much bigger servings are now. Like a chip dip bowl, this nowadays would be like 3 times this size. I don't know how this part works, but this is beautiful. My Aunt Jan said it was my Grandma George's, which is my maiden name is George, so it's my paternal grandmother. Aunt Jan's mother, my dad's mother, gave it to her years ago, and now she's passing it on to me, and it's beautiful, and I love it. And I'm definitely going to have to find room for it on my stand there to add to my blue glass. It is just absolutely beautiful. And I would be messaging my Aunt Jan right now and tell her how much I love it if my internet was working. I would even call her if my phone was working, but it's not. So I don't know how to work this. I don't know how this works. Olivia's more technical than I am. She might be able to figure it out, or I might have to have Scott figure it out when he gets home. But it's beautiful and I love it. Percy is being an absolute monster this morning. I don't know. Can he sense something's weird happening?
Stop biting me.
Or is he just being a...
He's always like this.
He's just being a bad boy
Stop.
today. Right at this minute. Oh, what a puppy. Olivia is so stinking smart. That's what that thing is for. Isn't that the most unique, cool thing you've ever seen? I love it. I've never seen anything like it. And it's going to be so pretty in my blue glass collection. But I'm going to definitely put it on there to where there's no possibility it could ever get knocked off. Well, that'll give me something to do to keep my mind off of this, but I probably won't be able to video it because of power. I don't know. Oh, I'm just discombobulated right now. I still need to do chores, so there's no way to get water for the animals. Thankfully, there's some water from the rain in a bucket that I can at least give to my chickens. But I gotta go out and do chores. So I'll bring you back when I'm working on setting this up in my blue glass collection.
Well, it is 1 o'clock and the power is still out, but my cell phone service started again. So apparently the cell outage and the power outage are unrelated issues. So I feel a little bit better about that. Apparently there's a line down and it's affecting a big area. So hopefully the estimate was like 3 hours. So it's been close to 3 hours now. So hopefully the power will come back on soon. But in the meantime, I am reading a book. It's like, I guess that's the advantage to having the power out is that you don't have any other choice but to go to good old black and white print. So yeah, that's just the update, and I'll just keep you updated as the day goes on, and hopefully the power comes back on soon. I hate it when the power goes out, mainly because we don't have any water. We live out in the country, we have a well, and when the power goes out, our water pump doesn't work. So I guess as far as like prepping goes, that's one area I really need to work on, is getting water. The problem with water is that it takes up such a large space to store it, and it doesn't have a huge shelf life. That's why I haven't really bothered to store a bunch of water, simply for that reason. But I think I'm going to start keeping several gallons on hand, simply because I had to give my chickens rainwater that had collected in a bucket for their water today because I can't give them any water. So anyway, I'll get back with you when something new happens, hopefully to report that the power came back on. Well, it is now 4 o'clock and the power finally came back on about an hour ago. I got absolutely nothing done today. You can't do anything when your house is dark. So this is where I'm going to go ahead and end this video. I was going to have some cleaning in this video, but I've got to get it edited so it can be posted tomorrow. So yeah, this is it. But I did want to show you how I styled that chip and dip bowl that my aunt sent me, and I also wanted to show you how I changed up a little bit on my sewing box wall. I'm just going to call it that. My sewing drawer wall that was in my last video. So let me show you those two things.
All right, so here is where I have it, and I thought the little dip bowl part of it would be like perfect for a little bird's nest. So I just took some Spanish moss and just formed it into a little nest and put a bird on there with some eggs. And I think it turned out so cute, and it's so pretty, and it just matches the rest of my blue glass so nicely. Got that shelf, and then this shelf is so gorgeous. Thrilled to have that. And then over here on this little shelf, the little additions that I made since my last video is I found this galvanized F, stands for our last name. I had gotten that at Hobby Lobby a while back, and it was downstairs in my office, and I found it. I thought, oh, that looked cute tucked in there. And then in the scoop, the little vintage scoop, I formed another little nest. I actually did this a couple of days ago, and then when I got that chip and dip bowl today, I thought, oh, that'd be cute too. So I did that. So those are the little additions that I made on this shelf. I wanted to thank you guys so much for all your positive feedback on this wall. You guys have left some really wonderful comments, and I appreciate it so much.
So friends, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video here. I wanna thank you so much for watching. This video did not turn out how I had planned for it to, but you just kind of gotta go with the flow sometimes. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section below, and we'll talk to you all later. Bye-bye, friends.